Hello all and welcome to this very exciting course on pre-business school statistics. So again it will be a short course and myself Professor Sudeep R. Bapat from the Shailesh J. Mehta School of Management here at IIT Bombay. And again like I said, this will be a very short course of let's say 10 sessions only. But then the main idea is this would be a very important preparation for people entering into MBA or let's say any business school, either be it India or be it abroad. But this course would sort of be a foundational course to sort of understand statistics from an analytical point of view. So describing distributions, then connecting with real world data, then having some case studies, etc. etc. So this is a very short introduction video and then I'll try to explain the nuances of the course. I'll try to explain what all should you expect in the course, etc. So before we begin, a very brief background about myself. So currently I'm working as an assistant professor in the decision sciences area at the SJM School of Management here at IIT Bombay. And prior to joining IIT Bombay, I was an assistant professor in the operations management and quantitative techniques area at IIM Indore. And my PhD is from the University of Connecticut in USA in applied statistics. And after that, I was there in the USA for almost 3 years working as a visiting assistant professor in the Department of Statistics and Applied Probability at UC Santa Barbara. So all this while my background has been in statistics or more like applied statistics, and very recently I've picked up interest in let's say quantitative finance, ecology, statistical psychology, etc. Okay. Now I've published over 40 research papers in reputed journals. I've chaired and presented at leading conferences in the area across the world. And again like I said, some of my current research areas include time series, statistical finance, statistical learning, sequential methodologies, change point detection, etc. Now again we'll enter right in the course itself, and a very brief motivation is to this: why should one take this course or why should one spend some time and trying to understand over 10 sessions and then try to understand the motivation behind the course. Very first thing is foundation for data driven decision making. So this course will sort of cover statistical reasoning and quantitative tools essential for analyzing business data and making informed managerial decisions. Second important point is it will sort of help to build intuition and analytics. So develops intuition about uncertainty, variability, risk, preparing students to interpret and communicate statistical insights effectively in real world business context. So as the name suggests, pre-business school statistics, but let's say once you enter an MBA school or a business school and then once you are out from the MBA school, then there should not be any disconnect as to what you did before through this course and how do you sort of implement them in real world scenarios. Okay. And finally, this entire course would be a very good preparation for any MBA quantitative rigor sort of an environment. So, and why? Because it builds the analytical foundation required for advanced courses in finance, marketing analytics, operations, econometrics, etc. etc. Okay. So extremely brief course outline. So there will be 4 weeks. So the first week would be data types, central tendency, measures of dispersion like mean, variance, and a small business case study. While week 2 will spend some time on random variables, probability, distributions, binomial, Poisson, and the normal distribution. Then we'll slowly enter into the idea of inferential statistics in week 3, some sampling techniques, confidence intervals, hypothesis testing, and ultimately we'll end this course by very briefly having a session on regression, correlation, predictive modeling, and a final case study to close things down. Now the practical aspect in this course, so wherever possible, it will be extremely hands-on learning through real-world business case studies across different areas such as finance, operations, marketing, etc. And the key is to apply the relevant techniques to analyze data, interpret its findings, and support some strategic decisions. Now, of course, these are quite a few number of application areas in business statistics where one can actually apply some statistical analysis or try to do some analytics, be it let's say time series modeling or regression based modeling, etc. And again I'll talk about very briefly about a few of these. So let's say market research, something like using sampling and inference to estimate customer preferences and brand awareness. It will be applied in let's say finance for let's say modeling asset returns and portfolio performance using time series analysis, or let's say something like supply chain optimization where it can be applied in let's say forecasting demand using historical data and uncertainty estimation. Now lastly, what could be a probable course audience? So again, like I said in the beginning of the introduction video here, that this could be multifold. So the first one could be MBA aspirants who are seeking to strengthen their quantitative and analytical foundations before joining any MBA school or business school. Or on the other hand, could also be some early career professionals from, let's say, non-quantitative backgrounds, example liberal arts, management or humanities, aiming to build data literacy. Or finally, it could be undergraduates planning to pursue management or data-driven postgraduate programs. Okay. So overall, this would be kind of an extensive 10-session course explaining more about, let's say, the nuances about statistical analysis, and then connecting the theory behind statistical analysis, distribution theory, hypothesis testing to real world and practical scenarios and data sets. Okay. So welcome all to this course, and then hopefully you enjoy the next 10 sessions in this course. Okay. Thank you.